counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game. Yes! Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son, you got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude, you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome into the leadoff show. We are live at Camp Bar, historic Third Ward. Charlie back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Milwaukee Brewers, Los Angeles Dodgers, Game 2 of the NLCS underway in about 2 hours. It'll be Freddie Peralta going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 7:08 first pitch from American Family Field. And maybe because Major League Baseball is in charge of it, we have the lineups already. Let's get to them.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Thanks again to Lakeland University for being a part of the leadoff show all season long. Experience it your way, lakeland.edu. First up for the visiting Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, the DH, will lead things off for LA. Mookie Betts at shortstop will bat second. Freddie Freeman moves up from the 4 spot to the 3 spot. He will play first base. Will Smith is catching, batting 4th today. Max Muncy at third base will bat 5th. Teoscar Hernandez in right field will bat 6th. Tommy Edman is the second baseman, batting 7th today. Kike Hernandez in left field will bat 8th. Andy Pajes in center field rounds things out. He bats 9th for the Dodgers. Now, for the Milwaukee Brewers, Jackson Chourio in right field to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching, batting 3rd. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats 4th. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat 5th. Sal Frelick in center field bats 6th. Batting 7th, it's Caleb Durbin at third base. Jake Bauers, playing in left field today, will bat 8th, and Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He is the shortstop, batting 9th. It is the leadoff show live from Camp Bar. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea, real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth, easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It is the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser, only 100 calories, 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise Milwaukee. Charlie Usen back in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. First hour here, we're going to hear from the players, Joey Ortiz and Jake Bauers speaking earlier today. Pat Murphy's pregame coverage as well. We're going to have Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook join us at 6:20, and then at 6:40, Mitch Thunder Nellis live at American Family Field jumps on the leadoff show. But let's first look back a little bit at Game 1 of the NLCS. This was a fear that I think a lot of Brewers fans had. This offense was not a home run, power-hitting offense. It was get on base. It was move things around, be aggressive while out there on the field. And if they can't get on base, it really throws that strategy completely out the window. 2 hits for the Milwaukee Brewers. The minimum was faced through 8, thanks to a pickoff move from Blake Snell, who was unreal in Game 1 for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Snell's final line, 8 innings of work, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts on 103 pitches for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Charlie Usen, my producer today, I'll bring you in. That was quite the performance from Blake Snell. Pretty happy, actually, that they didn't leave him in the 9th inning. I thought for sure that if they left him in there in the 9th inning, the Brewers were going to get shut out. He had his best stuff yesterday, Charlie.
I didn't think they were going to touch him at any point during that game. It didn't feel like, even when Caleb Durbin got on base, even later on when he was at over 100 pitches, it never felt like this Brewers team was going to catch up to him. He just felt like he had all his best stuff. They had a game plan to go up against the Brewers, and the Brewers got antsy early on in the game, and it just kept rolling up into a big old snowball at the end that led to what we saw there. And I think that you noticed that the moment they brought in Roki Sasaki to be that closer, and the Brewers just immediately fed on him. The one thing I wish they could have done with him is get to him earlier in counts like they were trying to do with Blake Snell. Instead, they let him get to 20 pitches and get out of that game, and that's kind of where it screwed them.
The Brewers pitching on the other side, able to anchor down most of this game. Aaron Ashby was the opener, had a walk, but did not surrender a hit. If you walk Ohtani, I guess you walk Ohtani. Quinn Priester, good bounce back for him as he went 4 innings, 3 hits allowed, 1 strikeout in the contest. Chad Patrick gave up the Freddie Freeman homer that would ultimately be a part of the difference in this game. He gets credited with the loss, didn't have his best stuff. Jared Koenig had 5 big outs in that game. Trevor McGill, a spark plug every time. And then Abner Uribe, when he came in the 9th inning, a lot of people want to point to Bryce Terang in this game, where Bryce Terang didn't get out of he got out of the way, right? He didn't wear it in the bottom of the 9th when the bases were loaded. Well, in the top of the 9th, Abner Uribe is walking men with the bases loaded. He had 3 walks in that inning alone and did not have his best stuff either. Not to say that what he has done hasn't been phenomenal all throughout 2025. But, Charlie, this whole Bryce Terang needs to get hit by the pitch argument can be quickly dissolved if you just say, hey, maybe in the top of the 9th, make it a 1-run game still and don't give up the free pass with the bases loaded.
Right. That is kind of the biggest thing, that the guy that has been the most solid all season in that bullpen has been Abner Uribe. So you count on him to go out there and be solid again. But like you said, he went out there and walked in a run. That is the biggest mistake they could have made. And then Bryce Terang later on, he didn't take that pitch, but he also swung at a pitch that was at his eyes on
way
all
worse.
3. He could have walked too and tied the game up himself in 2 different situations probably there if he had prolonged that at-bat a little bit, and he just didn't. So I think both these guys made mistakes that they generally wouldn't make in those situations.
I do think that the close game and the low score should be hopeful for this Brewers team. It's not like they looked like they were outmatched by the Dodgers at any point in that contest. Maybe Blake Snell looked like he was too good to pitch against the Brewers in that case, but Milwaukee's pitching staff held their own against a very good lineup. This is a lineup that in the 6 games in the regular season, which they faced the LA Dodgers, batted just 170 against this Brewers pitching staff. And they had 7 hits yesterday, but the Brewers able to get out of a lot of jams thanks to that insane double play as well that still no one really knows what the hell happened during that play, but it's technically, Charlie, you saw a grounded into double play. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah. That
because 2 force outs on the bases means that it has to be grounded. That's just old-timey baseball stuff right there, man. We have to just go by the books all the time. This is how the rules have been since 1880, so we're going to keep calling it how it is all the way in 2025. But that was a phenomenal play and a huge break. And if you remember, we were talking about this, and in the feeling and the vibes kind of surrounding this Brewers team. And I was waiting for a moment like that. I was waiting for something like that to happen in the postseason where it felt like things were going the Brewers' way, right? And in that Cubs series, there was nothing that went one way or the other. It was the Brewers were playing better or the Cubs were playing better. That felt like a really big break for Milwaukee, and it was going their way. They were unable to capitalize on it. They fell 2-1 in Game 1 of the NLCS against the LA Dodgers. Now we get to Game 2, however. It feels like a must-win for Milwaukee. You want to make this a 1-1. You were going to have to win a road game at some point, it felt like, during this postseason. It's going to be pretty hard to only win your home games during this stretch, and the Brewers have a pretty nasty streak of not winning on the road in the postseason. They're looking to get to that. Before we get into Game 2 completely, if you missed it from yesterday, I want to get you Pat Murphy's post-game reactions on how he felt the team performed in the NLCS Game 1. Had a lot of comments on Blake Snell. Of course, he addresses the crazy double play and Bryce Terang. Here is Pat Murphy after the game.
First question for Murph. Go to Kurt, 3rd row, and then to Jack. awful lot happened in the 9th inning there, but the eight innings before that, with the way Snell pitched, how many times have you seen a pitcher just look that in control in a playoff game like that?
He was great. His sequencing and in terms of throwing his changeup is effective. His changeup and slider were incredible. The kid was incredible. I've seen him pitch like that before. I think it's the most dominant performance against us. I've been here 10 years. I think that's the kid Swellenbach from Atlanta had one against us earlier, kind of in the shadows. It was kind of different, but the kid was amazing. And Will Smith, the way he called the game, and it was unusual the way he did it. He didn't go back and forth. He just went change up, and the ball was moving so much. And it was such a great pitch. He recognized it and stayed with it. And so I credit Smith too. And Snell was unbelievable.
Jack. Murph, we kind of saw it at times throughout the regular season, even on nights where a guy on the opposite side was throwing the ball really well, you could at least kind of work the pitch count up, get him out of the game earlier by not chasing, working longer at bats. Did it just feel like with how Snell was throwing tonight, he kind of took away your opportunities to do that?
Yeah, I mean, his breaking ball was so good. He could flip it in there for a strike and then have the one below. It was really hard to discern, and the changeup was dominant to right-handers. So it was really, really difficult to get a beat on it. Yeah, he did. We couldn't get anything going. Those pitches are really hard to bunt. They're really hard to put in play. And, we don't usually punch out 10 times, but, it's what happened.
Go to the left side.
And our defense was great. I mean, our defense played great. The play Sal made. So Collins made a great play. Terang made 3 or 4 really nice plays. Yeah, that was a great performance on our half. Our pitching staff, for the most part, did a really, really good job. Freddie Freeman's been a Brewer killer for a while, so hopefully he'll oversleep tomorrow or something.
Left side, third row.
Murph, on that double play to end the 4th inning, have you ever seen anything like that before? And what was your view of it from the dugout?
Yeah, just what happened. Sal caught it, then it touched the wall. Base runner got confused, and we got it in as quickly as possible, made the play at the plate, then heads up, William got the out at third. So, yeah, I mean, it's very unusual, and it's tough for the base runner to figure out what happened. But it's one of those plays in baseball. We got very fortunate there, but great defense on our guys' part for Sal and Contreras to be that heads up, Joey make the throw. Yeah, that was big. We got another big double play after that, after we walked Ohtani. Yeah, it was pretty special. Defensive night and a night, I mean, to hold the Dodgers down 2 runs and a leadoff walk, and it's a different game.
Go to Kevin in the front row.
Thanks for your time and your family's time. You made the decision to intentionally walk Shohei twice, even though the numbers show that he's really scuffling. Is that a situation where he's just so good that he can bust out of it at any time, and he's the guy you don't want? You've decided coming into the series that's the guy that's not going to beat you.
It wasn't as hard a decision as you think, because when a bag's open and you can turn it into a double play situation, you got a right-hander on the mound, you kind of have to go for that. And Shohei is at least dangerous enough, struggling or not, he's dangerous enough to hit a fly ball, and you can't give up the run there. With the way we were swinging against Snell, you couldn't give up a run. So I don't think those were huge risky decisions. The numbers didn't matter to me. I told you guys the first day here, I think Mookie Betts is one of the best players in baseball for a lot of reasons. But it was no disrespect to him. It was just the right thing to do with a right-hander on the mound and Shohei coming up with his ability to strike the ball so hard and put it in the outfield.
Jason.
Murph, on the double play, just making sure that it seemed like everybody on the field was confused except your 3 guys who handled the ball. So I just wanted to make sure that, do you ever talk about plays like this or practice plays like this, or is that impossible?
Sal is one of the most intelligent baseball players you're going to find. He gets it. And he's a great outfielder, playing center field for the first time in a while. But he's mad that he didn't make the catch. But if he did, the run would have scored easily. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those plays, like, unfortunate for the Dodgers that happened. But the heads upness of Sal to just get it in as soon as possible. And then for Joey to turn around and say, where else to throw it to the plate. He saw the guy going. So it was great. And Contreras heads up. I mean, really heads up that it wasn't a tag play, that, you know, it's a force play.
And did you know that was scored as a grounded into double play?
I heard that. I'm mad at scorers anyways right now because of not giving Yelich a stolen base in that game and then explaining it like indifference when stolen base. You know, that's all there's to it. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know everything, but putting it that way, I guess I don't know how else they would term it. You know, how else would they term it? You know,
Go to back to Kurt in the third row. Or millions of Americans probably in the ninth inning are shouting, just wear it, just get hit at Terang. What do you think when you see a play like that,
I mean,
and the reaction
not an
of
easy
it?
thing. It's a natural reaction. If someone turns and makes a gesture toward you, you're gonna, you know, it's the same thing when the ball's coming toward you. Your natural thing is it's a breaking ball. Your natural thing is to do that. And I know he was thinking the same thing after the ball went past. So it happens. He'll learn from that situation. But it's hard to, even if you try to maneuver yourself, it's hard to get hit by the pitch because it's just so reactionary.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media after the Brewers fall 2-1 in Game 1 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz out here live at Camp Bar in the historic Third Ward. Charlie Beck in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Couple other news and notes from yesterday. 2 hits in Game 1 for Milwaukee. That marks the fewest amount of hits in postseason play for Milwaukee in their franchise's history. That was also the 60th game in the franchise's history. Jackson Chourio now becomes just the Brewers' 3rd player in franchise history with 10 or more RBIs in the postseason. I see Charlie laughing in the back there. It's crazy. Ryan Braun with 16, Cecil Cooper with 13, now Jackson Chourio with 10. That is the 3rd most in Brewers franchise history. After that, it is now a 6-1 series against the Dodgers throughout 2025. In that same contest, the Brewers are hitting .251 while the Dodgers are hitting .185. The OPS as a team is .682 for Milwaukee, going up against .579 for the LA Dodgers. And the stolen base numbers, they did have 10 in the series in the first 6 games. I can't imagine that the Brewers are going to steal a base this entire series after getting picked off against Blake Snell in their one opportunity they had. They didn't have a lot of opportunities to get on base, so I seriously doubt we will see Milwaukee continue to be that aggressive. And we joked about it at the back end of Wisconsin Sports Daily with Jose Quintana. I would not be surprised at all if Jose Quintana pitches today. And I said yesterday on this show, they might just be rocking with bullpen games for the rest of this postseason if it's not Freddie Peralta. Quinn Priester went 4 innings. I can't imagine there's another guy on this team that would go 4 or more innings in the postseason game right now for this team. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they have a very deep bullpen that does a lot of great things, and there is ample off days like one tomorrow after this where it should help them out, and they will be fine, I think, during that case. But the traditional starting pitcher on this Milwaukee Brewers team, there's only one of them, and he's going tonight. It's Freddie Peralta up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto for Game 2 of the NLCS. When we come back, we will hear from Joey Ortiz and Jake Bowers as they spoke to the media earlier today. Still to come up, Pat Murphy's comments from earlier this evening. We will have Austin Herdina on the other side and Mr. Mitch Thunder Nellis as well. It is the leadoff show. We are live from Camp Bar. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Charlie back in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you. We're live at Camp Bar. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Charlie back in the studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers, in case you missed it earlier in the show. Jackson Churio in right field to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching, batting third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in center field will bat sixth. Caleb Durbin is the third baseman, batting seventh, while Jake Bowers is in left field, batting eighth. And Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He is the shortstop, batting ninth. It is the leadoff show. I believe we have a caller on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Is it Ken in the Falls? Is that what I heard correct, Charlie?
That is what you heard, Ken. You are on the leadoff show with Tommy.
What's up, Ken?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I just had to take a drink of my beer here. So
yeah, good call. Good call.
Yeah, you got to wet your whistle before a big game tonight. And this is a huge game, only from the standpoint that, you know, we're going back for 3 to LA. So with that being the case, this is a must-win in my opinion.
Must win. Has to be a must-win. Yes.
Yep. It's a get the lead and never relinquish the lead type night. So you want to get ahead, stay ahead, and I'd have to believe that these guys, with everything they've been through this year, they realize how big this moment is. Now we're going to see if they rise up to it. So it's going to be an interesting game tonight from that standpoint. If they do win, like I do believe they would, I thought they'd win last night, and they had a perfect opportunity there in the bottom of the ninth to pull it off in grand fashion, as they have how many times this year. But, you know,
right.
it wasn't in the cards last night. But this time, let's hope it doesn't come down to the bottom of the ninth, that they get ahead, stay ahead, put the Dodgers away quick, and get ready to go to L.A. to win 2. So we come back here for Sunday at 6 and win this damn thing and go to the World Series, baby.
Yeah, that's the plan, Ken. Who are you looking at the most today, Ken? Is it Freddie Peralta? Is it someone in the lineup? Who needs to step up?
Yeah, at this point in time, you know, you're going to have to get a big hit out of your shortstop at some point in time. So Ortiz is going to have to come through, because let's face it, it seems like he always gets an opportunity with bases loaded, and he just doesn't get the job done. With that being said, my guy Jake Bowers is in the lineup tonight. Now,
our guy, Ken. Our guy, Jake Bowers.
Yes. So the only thing I don't like is he's in left field, and he's a liability in left field, because he truly is an infielder. Personally, myself, I would have loved to have seen Collins stay out there and then bench Yelich tonight, or at least for a few at-bats. Just because he's struggling so bad, I would have put Jake Bowers in as the DH tonight. That would have been my call.
Yeah, he looked lost yesterday against Blake Snell the entire time. It's just that you can't have the $27 million man on the bench. He had a great year, and he's just not into it right now. Ken, thank you so much, my man. Of course, go Brewers.
Let's do it. Let's get it tonight. We got to get it done tonight, baby. All right. Hang in there, Brewer fans. We'll get it done.
There he is, Ken in the Falls on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. He always pops in. He's always a good time for sure. Want to get to some sound from pregame for you guys earlier today. Jake Bowers, Joey Ortiz, two guys that Ken in the Falls just brought up, actually were the two media available players today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's hear what Jake Bowers and Joey Ortiz had to say ahead of NLCS Game 2.
For Jake, I'm just wondering, since early September, you've really been on a tear. What kind of turned things around for you this last 4 or 6 weeks, do you think?
I mean, my shoulder getting healthy was definitely a part of it. Having some time to reflect on the mental side of the game while I was out. Maybe gaining a little bit more understanding of the way my body works, certain positions I need to be in to be successful, and putting a little bit more of the emphasis on that as opposed to tinkering with mechanics day in and day out.
Let's go to Adam in the third row. Guys, can either of you, in the postseason, you're going to face great pitching, goes without saying. Can you guys think of a stretch of the regular season in which you faced a comparable foursome of starting pitchers like you're likely to see in the first 4 games of this series?
I don't think there is a comparison. That's an elite rotation they're throwing at us, and it's on us to bear down, prepare as best we can, and try and string good at-bats together.
Jesse, fourth row. Following up to that, for both of you, maybe Joey first. Snell had his way, and then you got to the bullpen. Is one strategy to get Yamamoto's pitch count up and maybe work through the bullpen again?
Yeah, I mean, I think the strategy is the same every day. Is you got to be ready to hit when you get a good pitch to hit, and I think Snell did a good job last night. But it's a new day today, new day to attack who's ever on the mound today, and be ready to go through 9.
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
The idea of getting the starters' pitch count up so you can get to their bullpen, which has been gotten to a little bit. You did last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a balancing act. You want to get the starters' pitch count up. You want to have them thinking about what bullpen moves they need to make, but at the same time, a little bit of aggression can put a starter on their heels a little bit and not allow them to get so settled into a game. So it's something that we've talked about before early in the season, and I'm sure it's something that we're going to talk about again. But yeah, so I think it's a balancing act. You obviously want to swing at the right pitches, but you also don't want the starting pitcher to feel like they can do whatever they want.
Sophia, down on the right in the front.
The two of you didn't get an at-bat against Yamamoto the last time. I mean, what are the things that you guys can go to when you're preparing to see someone like him for the first time? And you guys got to him as a team. So are there things that you can draw from the previous game plan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that was a good blueprint for us. You're going to kind of lean on the guys that were in the lineup that day to tell you what it felt like, what it looked like. And then it's going to be a lot of video work on maybe guys that have similar profiles to you to see how you might get attacked. What have they as a team done to you in the past? And it's that cat and mouse game of trying to find out what's the game plan going to be for them and how am I going to respond to that?
A few more for these guys. Adam.
Joey, when Freddie's on the mound and you're at shortstop, what are the cues that it's going to be like one of those really good days? Is there something you see early that cues you into that?
I mean, usually when Freddie's on the mound, it's a good day, probably about 98, 99% of the time. It's usually attacking the zone and getting hitters out. But I think the main thing is when he attacks the zone, like his stuff is extremely hard to hit, even in zone. So I think he's just got to attack the guys 1 through 9 the same. And I think the tempo keeps the defense ready to go every pitch. So as long as he's attacking, got good tempo, I think we'll be ready to play good defense behind him.
Todd?
Jake, your role was kind of uncertain day to day, whether you're going to be in the lineup, not in the lineup, but you had good postseason success here the last 2 years. How do you go about preparing yourself when you don't know whether you're going to be in the lineup and you're not getting those regular at-bats?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's something that I don't necessarily have a direct answer for. Besides, I try when I wake up in the morning to make a decision. A lot of times I feel like it's one of two roads. Like you can go to the negative side of, I wish I was in there. I wish I was playing. Or you can go to the positive side of, if I'm playing, I got it. I'm ready. Same way on the other side, you can tell yourself you're not ready. I'm not seeing the ball well, whatever it is. So I try and wake up in the morning and as often as possible, make a conscious decision to choose the side that's going to give me the best chance. And that's tell myself I'm seeing the ball well, tell myself I feel good, tell myself I'm ready, regardless of when my last at-bat was. And so, I mean, I think that's something that really sets the tone for the day and puts me in a good spot.
Far right, fourth row.
For both of you guys, Jake and Joey, during the regular season, you were one of the best teams in baseball in games following a loss. Why do you think that was, and how does that whatever it is to translate to the postseason?
I'd probably say because we take every game day by day. I mean, the loss yesterday doesn't mean anything today. We should be ready to go first pitch. And I think if you kind of have that, not forget the last day, but just be ready for the day-to-day mentality, I think it keeps you locked in for every game.
Yeah, I'll second that. Also, I think our clubhouse after a loss is different than most places that I've been. There's not too many times throughout the course of the last 2 seasons that I can think where there was a number of guys hanging their head or feeling down or feeling sorry for ourselves or anything like that. It's more, dang, that was crazy. What a crazy game. Let's get after it tomorrow. And I mean, I think that short memory is something that's talked about a lot in the game of baseball. It's something that's hard to practice. And I think we have a group of guys who are really good at doing that.
Any last ones for these guys? We'll go take one more with Adam.
Joey, did you go back and look at the replay of that double play at all? And if you did, I'm curious whether you saw anything that maybe you didn't notice live that really stood out to you and impressed you, whatever.
Sal did make a pretty funny face while that's all over the social media right now, mid play. But no, I mean, I've never seen a play like that. It was a pretty crazy play to be involved in, and I think we executed it well. I was able to get 2 outs. So, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him play like that. It's pretty crazy.
There is Joey Ortiz and Jake Bowers speaking to the media earlier today. I want to go back to that line that Jake Bowers had said. The question was talking about the Brewers clubhouse after a loss. During the regular season, you were one of the best teams in baseball in games following a loss. Why do you think that was, and how does that, whatever it is, translate to the postseason? Jake Bowers. I think our clubhouse after a loss is different than most places that I've been. There's not too many teams throughout the course of the last 2 seasons that I can think where there was a number of guys hanging their head and feeling down or feeling sorry for ourselves or anything like that. It's more, dang, that was crazy. What a crazy game. Let's get after it tomorrow. I think that short-term memory is something that is talked about a lot in the game of baseball. It's something that is hard to practice, and I think we have a group of guys who are really good at doing that. Charlie, before we get to a break here, do you think that maybe with the Brewers' lack of star power that it might be something that's easier to do? These are guys that, you know, Pat Murphy proclaiming them average Joes, and no one knows who we are, and everyone counts us out. No one picked us. Like, is that something that maybe is a benefit of not having a Shohei Ohtani, not having a Mookie Betts, not having a Freddie Freeman, on where if maybe there's not a lot of people paying attention to you until this time, that it's easier to forget some of the losses happening along the way?
Maybe, but also at the same time, this Los Angeles Dodgers team has a Shohei Ohtani and a Mookie Betts and a Freddie Freeman and a Blake Snell. And yeah, they may not fully recognize the team that you are, but I'm pretty sure Dave Roberts, who in his press conference yesterday before the game, said that he was tired of Pat Murphy saying they're underdogs all the time because they're just not that. I think that team, when you get to a series like this, it only gets you so far. And when you face a squad who is so just huge and just this otherworldly, it feels like sometimes, that mentality of we are underdogs only gets you so far playing against a team like that. And then you do have to step up. That some of these players that are supposed to be stars eventually have to look like stars eventually. And I think that a William Contreras, a Jackson Chourio, who's been doing it this postseason, both those guys, they need to keep going. Christian Yelich needs to get going at some point here. Bryce Terrain can't have at-bats like that last one at the end of the game yesterday. All those things matter. And yes, you can have this mentality that you're an underdog, and that can carry you to a certain point. But at a certain point, it does stop, and you have to start playing baseball better than the other team, just more than the mentality.
Maybe that's just Jake Bowers, and it's just his brain that is probably just – it should be studied by science by the end of this at the end. We had a couple of coworkers come in, and I had one just come up to me and say, I thought of you. Like when I told the person I was watching with, like, oh, he's probably so hyped for Jake Bowers during that double. So I'm trying to make my mark as Jake Bowers guy, and
We got to get
I'm
Jake
sure
Bowers on the station at some point, right?
I mean, I don't need him. Like, don't repay me with like an 0 for 4 strikeout day today, but I will ride or die with my boy Jake Bowers no matter what, for sure. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here live from Camp Bar in the historic Third Ward. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. When we come back, let's get to the manager, Pat Murphy, what he had to say earlier today in his media availability. It is the leadoff show. Charlie back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Nobody likes them.
Craig Counsell returning to American Family Field.
We all want to see them lose.
It's not my job to tell people how to feel about something, or even to figure it out. Let people feel how they want to feel, and I'm good with that, and I think it doesn't have to be all positive.
It's time to eye up the enemy for today's game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you as we are live from Camp Bar down in the historic Third Ward, getting ready for Brewers-Dodgers Game 2. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Brewers lineup, in case you missed it earlier in the show: Jackson Churio in right field to lead things off. Bryce Terang will bat second, play second base. William Contreras is catching, batting third. Batting fourth, Christian Yelich, the DH tonight. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. In center field, it is Sal Frelick. He will bat sixth. Batting seventh at third base, it's Caleb Durbin. Jake Bowers in left field getting the start today. He is batting eighth. And Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He is the shortstop, batting ninth for Milwaukee. Now, Eye on the Enemy, presented by Iron Workers Local 8. Thanks again to Iron Workers Local 8 for being a part of the Leadoff Show all season long now. Looking at the matchup today, Freddie Peralta pitching against this Dodgers lineup. A lot more experience than Yoshinobu Yamamoto. First things first, though, when talking about Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Brewers won 9-1 earlier this year on July 7th in a game in Milwaukee. It is the shortest start of Yamamoto's career. He allowed 5 runs, 3 of them earned on 4 hits in 2/3 of an inning. He had 2 walks. He gave up a 3-run homer to Andrew Vaughn in that contest. Sal Frelick is the only other player in this Milwaukee Brewers lineup today that has a hit off of Yamamoto. Terang, Contreras each drew a walk in that game as well. No one else with a hit off of Yamamoto. On the other side of things, Freddie Peralta has a lot of experience against this Dodger lineup, starting with the leadoff man, Shohei Ohtani, 3 for 9 in his career off Freddie Peralta, has 2 long balls as well to go with that. Mookie Betts, as much praise as Pat Murphy has given him, and everyone knows one of the best shortstops in all of baseball, just 1 for 12 off Freddie. However, that one hit, you guessed it, a home run. 6 for 26, that's Freddie Freeman off Freddie Peralta. 1 homer as well. Will Smith, 4 for 13, also has homered. The first 4 men in this Dodgers lineup have taken Freddie Peralta deep at some point. Max Muncy's 2 for 10. Teoscar Hernandez, 2 for 7. Tommy Edman, some time with St. Louis as well. 24 at-bats, 6 hits off Freddie Peralta. Kike Hernandez, 2 for 5. And Andy Pages, 0 for 7. I got to talk about Kike Hernandez, Enrique Hernandez. That guy just screams 2018 Chris Taylor. Just screams like he's going to do something in this series that you're going to be like, wow, Kike Hernandez, of all people. He's got like a 700 career OPS in the regular season versus 860 or something in the postseason. It just screams like if something bad's going to happen, it's going to be because of this guy. Obviously, you saw Freddie Freeman go yard yesterday. And he has had some history against the Milwaukee Brewers in the postseason with the Atlanta Braves as well. This Eye on the Enemy feature presented by Iron Workers Local 8, building Milwaukee's future one beam at a time. Freddie Peralta is 10-1 with a 1.85 ERA this season at home in 18 starts for Milwaukee. Includes the game 1 of the NLDS, in which he had 117 strikeouts in 97 innings this year at home in 2025. Opponents were batting just 192. Going to need a vintage Freddie Peralta day again at home in order to help out this Brewers team in a must-win game, if we call it that, because the Brewers going down 2-0 with 3 games ahead in LA. Charlie, it's not new, but this playoff format, 2-3-2, I hate it. I hate it for Milwaukee in this game. I hated it before the series started. I would hate it if you were the team that was the higher seed. It just feels like all you have to do is steal 1, and then you get 3 in a row at home. Maybe you have to take full advantage of your home opportunities as well, but it just seems like a severe disadvantage, and I know they want to prevent a lot of travel during this. 2-3-2 is crazy.
Well, I don't really know why they want to prevent that much travel. You get more time in between the games. You get people to hype up each game a little bit more. If you were to do 2-2, 1-1-1, is that what it used to be? So if it's something like that, I feel like you spread out the series a little bit more, and the MLB would love something like that. This does feel like it's a complete disadvantage for the Brewers, but really only when they play teams like the Dodgers or the Phillies. Other than that, this would not have been that much of a disadvantage. I think, to your point before, yeah, you have to take advantage of all 3 opportunities at home if you're that other team. It just happens that the Dodgers are the team the Brewers are playing, and that's a team that can very much take advantage of all 3 at home.
The Brewers were 52-29, I believe. That's the number. Yes, 52-29 this season at home. The Dodgers were just 41-40 on the road. They won 93 games. So what does that mean? They were also 52-29 at Chavez Ravine out there in Los Angeles. So a great team at home. Brewers need this one bad, in a bad way today. Freddie Peralta, you're hoping for another long, lengthy start out of him. I don't know how long you can get out of Freddie Peralta. He's not a guy that goes past 6 innings very often. And quite frankly, I don't think the Brewers want him to go 6 innings in this contest. If Freddie Peralta is at his best, he goes 5 innings today. He throws 95 pitches, and then they get to the bullpen. And if he can do that with allowing 2 or less runs, I think Pat Murphy's going to be very satisfied and happy with what you get out of Freddie Peralta. He had a 17-6 record this year, a 2.7 ERA, was an all-star as well. Freddie Peralta, Mr. Consistency, it always feels like, and it's just needs it again today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Coming up, we're going to do another hour here. We're live at Camp Bar, thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. We will hear from the manager at the top of the hour here. And then on top of that, we will get to Austin Herdina and our guy Mitch Thundernellis, who is live at American Family Field. That all comes up in the second hour of the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you at Camp Bar, thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth, easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It is the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser only 100 calories and 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise. Milwaukee. More leadoff show coming up right after this.
counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game.
Yes!
Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son, you got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude, like you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run or you can't play here.
It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
All right, hour number 2 of the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you as we are live at Camp Bar in downtown historic 3rd Ward. Charlie back in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is Brewers Dodgers NLCS Game 2, just about 1 hour away from first pitch. Let's see what the lineups look like.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
All right, both teams' lineups again, just in case you're joining 1 hour instead of 2 hours before the show. Leading off for the Dodgers, no surprise, the DH, Shohei Ohtani. Mookie Betts, the shortstop, will bat second. Freddie Freeman at first base bats third. Will Smith is catching, batting fourth for LA. Max Muncy is batting fifth, playing third base, while Teoscar Hernandez plays right field and bats sixth. Tommy Edman is the second baseman, batting seventh. Kike Hernandez in left field will bat eighth. Andy Pajes is the center fielder. He bats ninth. Now the lineup for your Milwaukee Brewers. In right field, leading things off, Jackson Chourio. Batting second, playing second, it'll be Bryce Terang. William Contreras is catching, batting third. Christian Yelich is the DH who bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn will bat fifth, play first base today. Sal Frelick is in center field, batting sixth. Caleb Durbin at third base bats seventh. Jake Bowers, the newcomer in left field, will bat eighth. And Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He is the shortstop, batting ninth. That is the leadoff show. We are live at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward of Milwaukee here, thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Plenty of Sun Cruisers going around. I have seen some Dodger fans in here. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I know we hadn't seen any at Kelly's yesterday. Maybe a couple more of them popping out after a Game 1 victory in the Brewers in Game 1 of the NLCS. But plenty more Brewers fans for sure here, all ready to get over thanks to the shuttle services they have over at Camp Bar here. Make sure you guys get there, be loud, use those rally towels, whatever it is, buy all the gear, as Josh Albrecht likes to say. You never know when it's going to be back to this moment. The Brewers in the NLCS Game 2, Freddie Peralta versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Earlier today, Pat Murphy speaking to the media. Want to get you the media availability of him because we love to just play raw, unfiltered, well, a little filtered. Pat Murphy, sometimes you filtered it again, right, Charlie? Of course, it's Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy is clean on National Day.
He's a little nicer
sure.
in the playoffs.
He's always nicer. But you get exactly what he said in his pregame presser each and every game. Here is Pat Murphy before NLCS Game 2.
Murph, what would you like to see out of Freddie tonight that you didn't see in that first inning in Chicago?
Yeah. Heading the count, attacking. His 3 top pitches, clicking from from punch one, because, all these games are critical. There's no we'll give him a chance. Let's go. I think Freddie's experienced. He understands the lineup he's facing. They know him, and it'll be a good test.
Adam, 3rd row on the right. Oh, who's Steve? Go ahead.
Jake Bowers got another hit yesterday. It seems since the start of September, he's been really on a tear. Is it just the shoulder, just getting a little healthier, or what's been the difference for him from your perspective last 6 weeks?
He's a sneaky, experienced player, and he cares. He cares a lot about the team. He cares a lot about, his opportunities. He's never really ever been a full-time player for very long. And he kind of found a home here last year, did great for us in the postseason on his limited at-bats. And he's done the same thing this year. And like you said, he's been as good as anybody swinging the bat in September. So we're going to sacrifice a little bit and put him in the outfield, and we're going to go with it, you know, because he's swinging it so good. If you look at his at bats, they're just wow, he's on it.
Adam.
Murph, for many years, Freddie was part of that kind of trio with Woodruff and Burns. What did you need from him after those two were, in Burns' case, gone and Woodruff out? And what have you seen?
Yeah, to just remember sitting with him in spring training, and you know, like, you're the guy. You know, you're coming into the year the ace, and the ace has to post, and that's what Freddie does best. He posts. You know, he didn't miss a start, I don't believe, this year, and he's been sensational at just competing, and I think unquestionably this is his best year. He's thrown a lot of innings, a bunch of punch, and what an example he's been to everybody, the way he's taken the ball each time up.
Let's go to the third row and on left here, and then we'll go back to the right side with Todd.
Murph, when you guys faced Yamamoto earlier in the season, knocked him out in the first inning, is there anything you can take from that game in preparation for this one?
It's hard. You know, it's hard. He was getting his feet wet, you know what I mean? And that happens to every pitcher. But he's going to make the adjustment, you know what I mean? He's been really, really good. He's been one of the best 5 pitchers in baseball, and you look at his numbers are just incredible. Yeah, I mean, we've studied him, and there's days he's, you know, like Snell was last night, lights out. But you have to combat it. And this is how you can't beat number ones like that if you don't have a strategy going in that kind of, even if he's really good, here's some ways we can knock him off course and maybe get him out of the game sooner.
Todd?
Murph, it's not uncommon for players to play better at home than on the road typically. Freddie's numbers are ridiculous here. What do you think is behind that? Just they're so much better at home than on the road.
That's probably the case a lot throughout the league. I think that's the case. Look at Matt Boyd in Chicago, right? Those numbers are eye-popping. You know what I mean? I think certain guys feel better with their routines at home and that type of thing, and that leads to better preparation. But those are numbers that you can't put a lot of stock in when you're making overall decisions. You know what I mean? You can't. They got to be able to pitch. If they can only pitch at home, they're not going to be helpful for you. You know. I think it's more normal than you think.
A few more from Murph. We'll come down to the second row in the middle.
Murph, Jake Bowers talked just a bit ago about how the team doesn't hang their heads, you know, after a loss. They're you know, they may talk about the game, but they are ready for the next day. What have you noticed about you know, your team and your clubhouse? Now they've responded from losses throughout the season.
I mean, I look at it. I mean, we haven't had more than a 4-game losing streak this year, and last year we didn't have more than a 3-game losing streak. So what does that tell you? But at this time of year, you can't have either. You know what I mean? So it's got to like click in very quickly. But I think the practice of responding, the practice of washing it off, is really helpful with such a young team.
Jack?
Or kind of on that front, was there a message that you had for your guys last night after the kind of pitching they faced, or do you just kind of wipe that slate clean and just start fresh today?
I think at this time of year, Jack, the more you say to them, it can be, there's guys in all different spots. So you're after the game last night. So there's guys in tremendously different spots. So to maybe meet with a position player group and talk to them a little bit, not after the game though, maybe today, you know, you gather them up and, hey, look, you don't have to refer to yesterday, but remind them, this is what we do. This is what happens in these situations. You know, little reminders. They don't need to hear my voice too much. They've heard it for 7 months. I'm tired of it, so I can just imagine that they're tired of it, you know.
It's safe to
just local. I'd like some people from the outside. I talk to these guys all the time. I'm kind of sick of their voices, to be quite honest with you. Not yours.
It was my wife. Is it safe to say Quintana will factor into Game 3 in some capacity?
Yeah, I would think so. Maybe tonight.
Go to Abby on the far right, third row.
Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome. If they're tired of your voice, whose voice are they not tired of hearing from?
I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm sure they're tired of my voice. But I think, we've got a great coaching staff. We've got a number of guys around that have been through it and have, we've got guys on the team, a Reese Hoskins, a guy like Quintana, who's been on it at different points in his career. And I think they really embrace the team. They love the guys. And I think it's effective to have a message through one of those guys, maybe more effective,
Come here in the second row.
Murph, the comeback fell a little short last night, but is there any way to take that energy from that ninth inning and carry it over to today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the guys know that that's who we are. We're in this position because we've had that trait of being able to be resilient and never stop. So yeah, I think it does. I think it adds to the game today.
Russell?
Yeah. Murph, do you think in a 7-game series against an experienced team, I know you talk about the youth on your club, the idea of stealing a game before you have to head out to LA, where that environment, you talked about the Chicago environment, like, do you buy into that sometimes against an experienced team you might have to steal a game from them?
Exactly. It's critical. It's critical. It's tough to win the game, period. The advantage of being at home, you got to take advantage. Like last night's game, you got to win that game. You know what I mean? They outplayed us in every way. They left 11 guys on base. We had 0 before the 9th inning. So if you're still in that game and then you get bases loaded and then you lose, whoa, that's a dagger in the heart, even though we would have stole that game. And in terms of overall play, we probably didn't deserve to win, but we did, and let's say we did. That's stealing a game, and that changes their whole perspective. So that little turning point there, we have to reverse that now. Very difficult to do, but it's all 9 innings, 27 outs for each team. So we got to be the ones that take advantage of that.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media earlier today. All audio courtesy of Major League Baseball, too. It is the leadoff show. We are live at Camp Bar in the historic Third Ward, thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea, real vodka, refreshingly smooth, easy to drink, no bubbles to fill you up. It is the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser, only 100 calories and 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise Milwaukee. Please drink responsibly, of course, too. Pat Murphy speaking right there. The little note, right, of Kurt Hogue asking, is it safe to say, will Quintana factor into Game 3 in some capacity? Murphy said, I would think so, maybe tonight. I wouldn't be very surprised. I really wouldn't. And especially if Freddie only goes 4 innings in this contest, it's probably another guy they want to get some length out of. They used Jared Koenig for 5 outs yesterday as opposed to his normal 3. Wonder how available he is, how fresh his arm is feeling after going 2 innings. Now, Koenig in that contest, he didn't really ratchet up the pitch count too high, but still good to probably note that he didn't go 1. He went 2. Would you rather have Jose Quintana ready to go out after, or Robert Gasser being the first guy out as a lefty in this Brewers bullpen? I think I lean Quintana. I don't think it's a bad thing if it's not Robert Gasser and it is Jose Quintana if they want to go with a lefty in this contest. With that being said, I would be extremely surprised if Jacob Mizorowski doesn't pitch today. I think that they would like to use him in this NLCS, and you see what he does at home versus what he does on the road. I think it makes way more sense for Jacob Mizorowski to be coming out of this bullpen at some point today for Milwaukee, as opposed to Jose Quintana if they want a little bit of leverage and relief and long leverage relief at that. I don't know if we would see Jacob Mizorowski unless absolutely necessary in Los Angeles. Now, it will be 3 games in a row, so you would think he'll probably get at least one appearance, but why not use him at home? You see the electricity he brings, and he earned his way onto this NLCS roster after a fantastic performance in the DS, right? 7 innings, just 1 run on the homer to Seiya Suzuki. I would be very surprised if Jacob Mizorowski isn't in this game, isn't a part of this game's plan, even though he did pitch in Game 5. He's had ample rest during that time. That's my lean, at least, Charlie. I think that if the Brewers were going to go with another guy who was a starter making his way to the bullpen, they used Chad Patrick yesterday. Jacob Mizorowski seems like the next logical choice.
Does it? Or is it Tobias Myers? We haven't seen him at all in the playoffs yet.
I think he's going to open. I think he's going to open a game. I think that's why they brought him in. I think that's why they brought him, to maybe get 2 innings at the beginning of a game. I don't know where else they would go. Or maybe 2 innings from a second to a third, or second to fourth inning kind of guy. Later on, maybe they open with a McGill or a Koenig or an Uribe. I wouldn't put it past Abner Uribe to open a game in Los Angeles, because I think there could be an opportunity for McGill to earn back that 9th inning spot in this case. He's been unreal in the postseason, and the adrenaline and energy he has brought. I do like him as an 8-inning guy because of that extra juice and charge he might bring to the Brewers in the 8th inning. But quite frankly, that 9th inning is very sacred in playoff baseball. And Abner Uribe yesterday, that was not something you can have happen again in the 9th inning. And as phenomenal as he has been all of 2025, McGill was there first, right? And McGill was great at it. McGill was an all-star because of his pitching in the 9th inning all season. It looks like he's healthy. Looks like the flexor strain isn't bothering him. And maybe they use Uribe as an opener in a game to try to mix things up, and McGill is the 9th inning guy again. I don't think that spot's set in stone either, Charlie.
I don't think so either. I think this is something where the Brewers' biggest advantage in this series, in the playoffs in general, is the amount of players that can be interchangeable within their bullpen, within their starting rotation. So if one guy is going to mess up, you have to give somebody else an option. You can't have a Devin Williams situation again.
Right. It is the leadoff show. We are live at Camp Bar in the historic 3rd Ward of Milwaukee. Charlie back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. When we come back, speaking of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Austin Herdina, Sportsbook Manager over at Potawatomi. It is going to be his turn to give us a nice little parlay for the people. He loved the under yesterday. He was all over it. He also thought Christian Yelich would record a hit, and I don't know if that's going to happen this entire postseason. Let's get to Austin Herdina after this. It is the leadoff show. Charlie back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you live at Camp Bar. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Charlie back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Before we get over to our guy, Austin Herdina, Brewers lineup, in case you missed it earlier in the program. Jackson Churio in right field to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching, batting third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in center field will bat sixth. Caleb Durbin, the third baseman, bats seventh today. Jake Bowers in left field will bat eighth. And rounding things out, the shortstop tonight, Joey Ortiz. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, sportsbook manager over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, our guy that we get to talk to each and every day. You can also hear him on Follow the Money every 4:40 Friday segment of Wisconsin Sports Daily. Austin Herdina joining us here. Mr. Herdina, how are we doing tonight, my friend?
Pretty good. I'm ready to get a win and get back to 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, needs to. It feels like it's must-win territory for Milwaukee. And yesterday, Blake Snell, just his best stuff, Austin. Not much they were going to be able to do with that. Had an opportunity in the ninth, and some people upset about how things were handled in the ninth inning by whether it was Abner Uribe or Bryce Terang. Quite frankly, they had a lot of opportunities to try to fix that earlier in the ball game, in my opinion, Austin. But game one, the low scoring, it feels like it's still in the Brewers' favor. It's not like they didn't look like they didn't belong or anything against Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if the score is going to stay low, that's a better opportunity for us. It was 8 innings of just domination, I felt like, from Snell. We didn't really have any. We didn't have a base runner in scoring position until, 2 outs in the ninth? I mean, we really didn't have much going. Yeah, it was something where I was shocked to see Dave Roberts take him out and not put him back in the ninth. I was thankful. I mean, it was one of those things where it's like you want to do what your opponent doesn't want, right? And in that situation, we wanted him off the game. We wanted a new pitcher in, so we were happy with that. We almost got to him, but just fell a little short.
Fell a little bit short in NLCS Game 1. Now Game 2, just about a half hour away or so here. Austin Herdina from the Potawatomi Sportsbook joining us on the Leadoff Show, looking at the betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The line goes a little bit in Milwaukee's favor. It is plus 100 for Milwaukee, minus 117 for Los Angeles. But yesterday that number, I believe, was minus 152 in favor of the Dodgers. And the Brewers were plus money significantly on the other side. Plus 1.5 will get you the run line for Milwaukee at minus 182. And the over-under set at 7 today, Austin. What are you liking from your most popular bets and other props to get a nice little parlay for the people for Brewers-Dodgers Game 2?
Yeah, the difference that you're going to see in that money line price is, no Blake Snell on the mound today. And then we also have our ace, Freddie Peralta, going. It's going to give the Brewers best opportunity. He's been really fantastic at home this season. The last three of the last 4 games, he's had 8 strikeouts or more in home starts. So I'm liking him to go over 5.5 strikeouts. I feel like getting 6, even though it's against this, great offense of the Dodgers, I feel like 6 is doable for him because I think he's going to go out there long. I think we're going to get at least 6 innings from him is what I'd like to see, and then pass it off to the bullpen. And then as far as hitting goes, I think we're going to get a little more hits than yesterday. We kind of have to, right? We only had one until late. So I like the 4 and 5 hitters in the middle of the lineup. I like Yelich and Vaughn to each get a hit. And then I like the Brewers to win. I think we're going to even the series out, head out to LA for 3, try to get 1 or 2 out there and bring it back. But yeah, it's put those 4 together. I think it's plus 540 in a parlay. Brewers
plus 540, yes.
Yep, Brewers to win, Peralta over 5.5 strikeouts, Yelich and Vaughn to get at least 1 hit.
I mean, Yelich hasn't gotten a lot of hits in this postseason, Austin. Like, are you kind of feeling that he's due for one on your side of things? Because this is a leader of this team, a leader throughout the season, battling back through injury to have a productive 2025. and now in the postseason, his bat goes quiet right now. Any concern about Yelich?
A little. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit. I would have liked to see him come through a little bit more lately, but last night he had a good at bat in the ninth. Got able to work himself a walk. Hopefully he can continue to have a good eye and get the bat in the ball today.
I'm just saying, if you throw in Jake Bauers to record a hit in this game with all of what you said, it goes up to plus 1150. Jake Bauers is plus 120 to get a hit. Like, that's going to happen today. I promise you he's getting a hit in this
Where's
contest.
he at in the lineup today?
He's batting eighth. So he's going to get 3
Okay.
ABs. He maybe 2 ABs probably if they switch to a lefty in there. But they didn't take him out and leave Vaughn on the bench or anything. There's no Hoskins to bail him out. This is a guy that they're going to have to bring in Isaac Collins or Blake Perkins to pinch hit for him in the contest. I just don't see that happening, really. He's been fantastic on the offensive side. He's been my guy that I've been rocking with forever. Do you know Mason Crosby today tried to say that I was bandwagoning Jake Bauers? Do you not remember,
No.
Austin, on see, Austin?
I remember
even
like week
shot.
1 of the year.
Oh, I was like, where are the odds? Where are the odds for him to homer? It was in New York, and then he homered. Remember? Like that was I was asking where are the odds for it, and it was a late lineup, and you guys cleared it up saying that hey, if you got odds for a guy you want, like they'll get it to you. That's how awesome they are over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. But I just needed you to validate that for Mason Crosby to call me a bandwagon Jake Bauers fan was one of the craziest things I've ever heard someone say on this radio station.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you were on YouTube yet back then, but if you were, go look it up. I'm sure you'll find yourself talking about it.
That was exactly where I was going. Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What else is going on over there, Austin? People need to know about. I know there's some hockey going on right now. Regular season kicking off for that. And, of course, NLCS, ALCS. You guys got football every weekend, too. What should the people know about, Austin?
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, it's a great time for sports, October, right? You got hockey season started. NBA season starts off a week from today. I got the Bucks have a preseason game tonight that I'm sure no one's going to be watching because we're all watching the Brewers.
Yeah.
It's just it's a great time for sports betting too. And coming into our sports book, if you want to get a reservation for any of the events, we got another UFC pay-per-view this month as well. Any of these Brewer games, it's a great time to watch the games with other fans. Just go to Potawatomi.com, click on Sportsbook and reservations, and you'll see the dates and choose the date you're interested in. The money you put down as a deposit goes towards your food and beverage for the night. So it's just it's a great opportunity to spend the time on watching a 2,000-foot screen.
2,000-foot screen. Austin Herdina, his parlay for the people one more time today. It is the over on 5.5 strikeouts for Freddie Peralta. Andrew Vaughn and Christian Yelich each record a hit. And the Brewers on the money line, it'll pay plus 540, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Austin, have a great rest of your day, my friend. We'll do it again on Thursday at minimum. And, of course, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.
There he is, Austin Herdina, jumping off the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I'm going to break a little early, I think, here, because I want to get some time for our guy Mitch Nellis. Every time you break at the correct time over here, it feels like you never get enough time in that last segment here. Want ample time for Mitch Nellis, who is down at American Family Field, has been down there the last couple of days for us and in the first series as well. It's going to be a good time talking to him. I don't know, Charlie. I think that, if we got to get Mitch Nellis more involved here, just send him wherever. He was looking great down there as our journalist guy.
Well, it's stunning. The light was shining on him. The field looked nice and green behind him. He was perfect for it.
It was perfect. Mitch Nellis, Thunder, from the Mason Crosby Show. You've heard him in the mornings over the last couple of days, too. He'll join us here on the other side. It is the leadoff show. We are live at Camp Bar in the historic Third Ward. Charlie Beck in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan.
You sure you don't want to? You sure you don't want to be the guy to get the lineups out? All right, all right. Just making sure. Charlie Houston, you might have just saw right there. That's just. It's a 2-hour show. We got to have some fun along the way. Brewers lineups here. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz live at Camp Bar in the historic 3rd Ward. Charlie back in the studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers lineup, in case you missed it earlier in the show. Jackson Churio in right field to lead things off. Bryce Terang at second base will bat second. William Contreras is catching, batting third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Sal Frelick in center field will bat sixth. Caleb Durbin, the third baseman, batting seventh. Jake Bowers in left field will bat eighth. And rounding things out, the shortstop, Joey Ortiz. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, is you've heard him on the morning show. You've heard him on Middays with Thunder. You've heard him on Wisconsin Sports Daily. You hear him every day on the Mason Crosby Show, and now he is live over at American Family in like the auxiliary press box, which is a great view still, by the way. I mean, honestly, is it less packed at least there, Mitch?
Way less packed. We're in X Golf. So X Golf is closed. It's media auxiliary. And there's an outdoor seating area that most people are at. So I'm inside right now. And it is, I mean, you feel like you're out with the crowd. It's great. And let's go.
Let's go. It's NLCS Game 2. Mitch Thunder Nellis joining us here on the leadoff show. Mitch, you've been there all day. You've gotten to hear all the comments that we've heard from Jake Bowers, from Joey Ortiz, from Pat Murphy. Everyone kind of pointing to how this team responds after a loss and how great they have been at responding after losses all season long. Did you get that same vibe when you were in there, that this team is locked in, ready to go, and has brushed off whatever happened yesterday away from them, and they're ready for Game 2?
So I think that's the vibe, but I don't think they brushed off what happened yesterday. I think they're taking what happened in the 9th inning yesterday and using that as motivation moving forward. I think they caught a little bit of that Brewers magic in the 9th inning. It didn't translate to a win. Pat Murphy especially talked about how they really wish they had stolen that one. It really would have been a stolen win if they had gotten yesterday. But whether it's a day after, we talk about so much about how they respond after a loss. I don't think it's really about responding after a loss. I think this is how they show up day in and day out. Whether they win, whether they lose, they just come, they play the way they play, they make you play baseball, and they're ready to roll.
I'm excited to see it for NLCS Game 2. It's Freddie Peralta versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto today on the bump. We saw what Blake Snell could do in the ball game to control that entire atmosphere. 8 innings. Thankfully, he didn't go 9 innings in that contest against Milwaukee. And now Freddie Peralta and Yamamoto have the chance today. Which one of those two pitchers do you think has a better chance to control a game? Similar to Blake Snell, but not. I don't think either of these guys has 8 innings in them like we saw out of Snell yesterday. But Freddie Peralta, I mean, he's had a top 5 season. Yamamoto, a top 5 season, probably from the starting pitching matchup in the National League. Which one of those two do you think is more dependent on from their team today?
I think if we're talking 5-6 innings, I think we're talking Freddie. He's been so dominant at home. He's really been great. He struck out 1 million Cubs at home. And I think Yamamoto's really good. He does a weird. He's out there right now doing warming up. Man, he threw it all the way from like right field all the way to the left field foul line as part of his warm ups, like at least 200 feet. That's a throw. They should put him in right field. I think both pitchers are going to pitch really well, but I just think I think there are openings that the Brewers will take advantage of with Yamamoto, and I think Freddie's going to come out. I think he's going to paint. Listen, he's going to be Freddie. He's only going to pitch 5 or 6. He's going to run up the counts. He's going to get foul balls, which don't get guys out. But at the end of the day, I just think he comes out and he's calm, cool, collected, and he gets his 5-6 innings in and is dominant, gives up 1 run maybe, if that, and sets the team in a really good position to win.
Mitch Thunder Nellis joining us here on the Leadoff Show. You can follow him on Twitter at ThunderMKE. You can hear him from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow, then returning back to his normal schedule on the Mason Crosby Show from noon to 2 weekdays right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Mitch, the other big change in the lineup today, you're talking about Jake Bauers coming into this lineup in place and will be playing in left field. We know how much I love Jake, but he is a liability out there in the outfield, especially for some of the counterparts where you could have a guy like Isaac Collins. You could move Churio over there and have Blake Perkins in center field. Like, that's how desperate this team seems to be for a bat. Or is it more they need to find a way to get Jake's bat in this lineup? Which one do you think it is, Mitch?
Yeah, a little bit of both, but I think it's specific to Jake's bat. I think they want his bat. After seeing his pinch hit last night, a double that if it doesn't catch the wall, it probably drives in that run, and it's probably not second and third, but second and a run scored. I think they wanted his bat in. I think Murph realized, you're not going to start Jake against lefties, but against righties, he's got to be in there. And I think it also talks to, I think something's got to be up with Christian's back. I think Yelich's back is not fully healthy. And as whatever you think about Jake Bauers in left field, they have to believe that Christian is just too big of a liability in left field, even though a career outfielder, that it's just not worth the risk with him. And Jake at least is healthy. But don't be, then you have to play, you got to play the lineup game, because if they get to the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, they have to weigh, do we need one more at bat from Jake? Or if we're up by a run in the 7th, do we take Jake out after 6 just to play defense, even if it means Jake doesn't get one more at bat? That's why Pat Murphy gets paid the big bucks, and I sit with you every day.
Yeah, it's
I
way
love you,
more
buddy.
fun. Way more fun. That's
way more fun.
We're trying to have more fun than the Brewers. All right, we can't make more money, but we can have more fun for sure.
That's right. That's right.
Mitch, there was a little bit of, you called it the red herring of the Pat Murphy, Jose Quintana comments today. And the expectation is to probably use him for game 3, but he said maybe tonight as well.
Maybe tonight.
I don't think that is that crazy of a take if Jose Quintana does come into this ball game. But I will say this, Mitch, you got 3 games on the road, heading to Chavez Ravine, heading to Los Angeles. Jacob Mizorowski's got to pitch tonight, right? You think that you want him in front of the home crowd, the energy he brings, the energy this crowd could bring. You don't really want to throw him in a situation, it feels like, in Los Angeles to set him up for that. I think a lot of signs pointing to Mizorowski being a guy coming out of the pen today. And maybe not the first guy, but at some point today for Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, Tommy, because I do think that Mizorowski lines up really great with Quintana. The lefty versus the righty, the soft tosser versus the hard thrower. If things go, if Freddie pitches well tonight and they can get out of it and they're good, I like that. I like the concept of Quintana starting 3, and if things go well for the Brewers, bringing Mizorowski into a clean inning in LA with a lead feels a lot better than you can't bring him in a dirty inning. And I agree. I don't love him pitching on the road. But I could see if you get your 5 or 6 out of Freddie today, and then you get 1 inning out of, whether it's Koenig or whoever, I could see Mizorowski for an inning just to get his feet wet, and then still be ready to pitch in game 3 for 2 or 3 behind Quintana.
Yeah, I want to ask you, I brought it up with Charlie earlier in the show too, that 9th inning, the 2 most sacred innings, it feels like, the 1st and the 9th inning now for this Brewers team all postseason. And Abner Uribe, 3 walks in that 9th inning, including a bases loaded walk during that, which ended up being the difference in the game as well. You can point to that, or the Freddie Freeman homer in game 1 of the NLCS. Do you think that there's a chance that Trevor McGill could earn that spot back? And I'm thinking of maybe Abner Uribe as an opener if they're trying to do this, where they open with instead of a McGill, it would be a Uribe. And what Trevor McGill has brought this postseason so far, it has been nothing short of electricity. He's been fired up. He looks great. He looks healthy. This is a guy that was an all-star just pitching in the 9th inning. Do you think that spot could still be up for grabs?
I mean, literally, there's nothing off the table with Murphy, right? Like anything could happen. I do think that Uribe's still the closer. I think last night was a classic example of you don't bring your closer in a non-safe situation. Like I know they wanted to give him some activity because he didn't pitch it much in the NLDS. He did close out Game 5, of course, but he didn't pitch much, and they wanted to get him more game action. But I hate bringing in a closer down 1-0, either tied or to get the save. One of those walks was intentional also, so it was like 3, but it was really 2. But I still didn't like it. And he was not sharp. I mean, he was sharp when he threw strikes, but he walked too many. I think he's still the closer. I think if we get into a safe situation tonight, I think Uribe's the closer, and I think he closes it out. Like, he had the walks, but he's pretty unhittable right now. And so I think McGill is too. I mean, I think the two of them are both awesome. I think you could interchange whichever ones you want for that opening versus closing, and I think they both succeed.
Mitch Thunder Nellis joining us here on the leadoff show. One more for you. Could be quick, could be easy. You'd mentioned that one of those was an intentional walk. That was on this guy, Shohei Ohtani. He's pretty good at baseball if you haven't heard of him. But he struggled in the postseason, and yesterday Milwaukee really wanting nothing to do with him. Do you think that that's going to be the approach all NLCS? Is it's just even no matter how bad he is struggling, like he's not going to be the guy to beat us?
Listen, I think if first base is open, you put him on base. I think that's almost always the right call. Mookie Betts is good, but he's not Mookie Betts right now, and so he doesn't scare me as much. I think that's the right call with Shohei. I think if nobody's on, or if there's a run first, obviously you go after him, and I think you can go after him. I think lefties have had a lot more success against them than righties, so we'll see how that plays out. But I had no problem with the walk. I didn't love the 9th inning walk, but the earlier walk I was fully in favor of.
Mitch Thunder Nellis, follow him on Twitter at ThunderMKE. You can hear him in the morning tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Josh Albrecht. And after that, it'll be back to regular scheduled programming with Mitch Nellis, 12 to 2 on the Mason Crosby Show every weekday. Mitch, have a great rest of your night. Get some sleep after as well. Love you, buddy. Go Brewers.
Love you. Go Brewers. Let's go.
There he is, Mitch Nellis on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. One more thing to get to before we get out of here. Let's get to today's keys to the game.
How does the crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the keys to the game. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Keys to the game, Charlie Usen, quickly to you. What do you got here? What does Milwaukee need to do to come out successful tonight?
It's not about Freddie Peralta going longer in this game. It's about getting Yamamoto out of this game as fast as possible for this Brewers team. That's what it was for Blake Snell yesterday. That's what it was for the Cubs series the entire time. It's about making sure you get to that team's bullpen and taking advantage of that, because you saw what they were able to do yesterday when they got to the bullpen eventually in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I also look at Freddie Peralta to keep that thing within one run through 5 innings in this one. That's going to be massive. Whether that is the Brewers scoring toe for toe with the Los Angeles Dodgers or without the Dodgers, Freddie Peralta is going to be massive. The first inning and the 9th inning, it's the 2 most important innings right now in baseball. Thanks to our good friends over at Sun Cruiser Vodka for hooking us up here at Camp Bar in the historic 3rd Ward. Thank you to Charlie for helping produce back in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. NLCS Game 3. That's a Game 2. Game 3 will be on Thursday. Game 2 is coming up next. It is Freddie Peralta versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Brewers down 1. Need to find a way to get the victory. It is the leadoff show. We are live from the Camp Bar in the historic 3rd Ward. Charlie Beck in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. One more thing, don't forget, send them home.